Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks for joining us today. We're so excited to be back for another episode.
We sure are. As usual, make sure you check out our latest episodes because we have given out some good information, as well as having so much fun answering the questions that you guys write into us and chatting with our Bachelor Nation fans.
Okay, so today we have a very special guest, yet another Susan.
I'm telling you, and they're all beautiful,
talented woman from Grant season. Please help us welcome Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Welcome to Golden Hour.
How are you? Look at that smile. You're beautiful.
Look at that smile. I know.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you.
Tell us all.
How are you?
We want to know how you're doing.
I'm really good. Dare I say the best I've ever been.
Yes.
Whoa.
I love this.
Okay, well, before we get to any of that, we want to know how you got on the show. What made you apply for the show? Take us back a little bit. We want to know your past before we hear your present.
Sure. Yeah, I got picked up like really late in their casting season. So it was last summer, and I was kind of just like quarter life crisis. What am I doing with my life? I've been freelancing in New York for like 5 years. And I was talking with my roommate, and she was like, you'd be the perfect candidate for reality TV. Like, you should apply for something. Just because single, creative, I can kind of just like uproot my life, and it's don't have to quit my job or anything.
Right.
And I describe it like, when you easy apply on LinkedIn, and it's kind of just, you do it in 2 seconds and you don't think anything about it. And you're like, I know I'm not going to get this, but it just makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I felt applying. Like, it was just kind of like, oh, this is just a funny thing to do on an afternoon, and filled it out with my roommate. And then 2 weeks later, I was sitting in the nail salon talking to my mom, and I was like, wait, I have a call waiting. I'll call you back. And then it was a producer from The Bachelor, and I was like, wait, excuse me.
No way.
Did you think it was real, or did you think you were being played?
Well, at first I was kind of like, excuse me, like I don't often answer random phone numbers
that you don't recognize.
It wasn't like an 800 number. So I was just like, let's, you never know who it is. And I was like, wait, sorry, I can't hear. Like, what? And she's like, I'm a producer from The Bachelor. And I was like, and it like took me a second. But
okay. Did you tell the lady, stop doing my nails? Let me go outside and take this? Or did you stay right there?
I was the only one in the nail salon. And so I was a little nervous. And so I started doing my interview right then and there. And she's like, are you in public? Like, I can kind of tell that you're like whispering and holding back a little bit. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm in a nail salon.
How fun.
Wow, what a feeling. Wow. And then what happened from there? How far away was it?
It was, so the ball started rolling, and I was doing all my interviews and all of that. And then I was probably like just over a month out that this first call happened. And then I went on a backpacking trip in Europe for 3 weeks. So I was like, this
living the life.
It was like such a whirlwind summer and fall. I was like, this sounds great. Like, I would love to be involved, but I'm about to be off the grid. So like, if we want to do this, we kind of have to, and they're like, okay, like we'll fast track all your paperwork, whatever. And then I found out that I got it when I was in the middle of the mountains
of nowhere.
Switzerland.
Oh my gosh.
That's so awesome.
And I got back and I had a week to pack. So
we know that feeling.
Yeah, we know that feeling. Wow. So looking back on the whole experience, like, well, give us one word to describe it, the whole experience. What would be that word?
What would your word be?
Maybe just whirlwind. The whole thing was just,
that's such a good word.
Whirlwind.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Same for us and the Golden Bachelor. Yeah, that's a great word, actually. Whirlwind.
It is.
Yeah.
Anything you wish you could have changed?
I wish I would have had more time to allocate my outfits. That would have been
You
girl
looked
after my own heart.
You looked great.
You absolutely
thank you.
did.
Yeah. I mean, you did. You looked fabulous. Okay, so that's your past.
Yeah.
Now we're going to dive right in, because that smile, wipe it off your face, or tell us why you're
Tell
smiling.
us about the dating life when you got off the show. Were your DMs full? Were all kind of people reaching out to you?
Well, it was funny because my DMs were full of just, the next couple months, girls reaching out saying like
Fans.
the sweetest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I didn't get the rose, that then the men started flooding in the DMs.
Oh, are you hearing this, Susan? We got none, Chloe. None.
Because old people don't know, the old men don't know how to get on social media.
It's true. All true.
According to my DMs, they do.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Chloe. Well, this interview is over. Thanks for joining us. We're moving on. Seriously?
Oh, no.
Older guys reached out? How old? Chloe Spill. How old?
I feel like a lot of them aren't even real because some of them just seem like, it's like the sugar daddy bots kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So who even knows?
Okay, did you pick one out of these DMs that struck you that, okay, I'm going to talk to this one?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, so... Okay, it's kind of like a past and a present moment. So there was a guy that I've been friends with for a few years. And when I was out in LA last year, he had moved back. He's from LA. And we had kind of established, we're not friends anymore. And so we started seeing each other for a few months. The timing wasn't right. We ended things. And then fast forward 6-7 months, he didn't know that
I have to interrupt. I'm sorry. Is this before the show you met him?
This was before the show that I met him. Yeah.
Okay. So and then you broke it off. Okay.
And then we broke it off. Yes.
Okay.
Then he saw you on TV. Tell me that's what it was.
So he showed up in New York like right before I was leaving and didn't know that I was going on the show. And I'm like, I don't want to tell him, like, I'm doing this thing, whatever. And so then eventually, through close friends I told, he found out, but it was kind of like, sorry, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And then I go on the show and I get back, and shortly after that he reached out again. Yeah.
And where are we now?
And
now we're in love. Yeah.
Oh, congrats, Chloe.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So, he's the best.
And what did you discover about him now or recent that you didn't notice prior? Or was it something about you that changed from your experience on the show?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that we were both it just wasn't
the right time.
Yeah. And I think that we both saw this thing in one another, but it just like we both kind of needed a little bit more time and to figure things out. And I feel like once I got off the show, it was like, okay, I got my cake and to eat it too. Like I got this amazing experience. I learned so much. I met amazing people. I feel like I was meant to go on the show and, make this experience. And so I just feel like after everything kind of shifted and clicked and we met back up and just kind of immediately we were like, this is it.
Okay.
Did you have thoughts of him? I'm sorry, Kathy. Did you have thoughts of him while you were on the show? Did you think of him at all? Comparing sometimes, how we do.
Yeah, I think him showing up in New York before I left kind of threw me for a loop. Yeah, but again, it was such a whirlwind.
Wait, did he show up to see you? Is that why he came to New York?
I mean, I don't know exactly how he would say
it. He was there. That's all she could say.
I think, he had intentions of trying to rekindle. And I was like, I'm
out.
I'm peacing out. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me the 3 best characteristics about him. What makes you love him?
I think he's extremely empathetic and caring. He has the biggest heart. I think that he's so silly and playful and makes me laugh. And I've never really had that in a partner before. And I feel like I've always been the biggest personality in the relationship. And we really kind of go back and forth, which is such a fun dynamic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You sound like Susan.
I know, we're twins.
That's funny. And we were just talking earlier on another podcast about, do you want the same person, with Alex?
Did you discover anything about yourself being on the show that you didn't realize, or that you became more comfortable with who you are?
Yeah, I think just throughout all of my dating experience, you pick up little things, but I feel like being on the show really like solidified what I'm looking for. And I think I was kind of, it really solidified, like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to make a commitment. And I think that's why when I left, us rekindling. It was really like, okay, I'm actually really ready for this. Just in all the conversations I had with people,
Yeah.
Well, if you decide to get married, you know who can do it.
I knew that was coming. Susan's a wedding officiant. But Chloe, I have a question. How do you guys balance I assume he lives in California.
Yes.
And how does that work? Is it long distance or how are you doing this?
Yeah, so the first couple months was long distance. So it was like every couple weeks we would see each other and be doing like the red eyes, New York to LA, which was really brutal.
Yeah.
But then I've come out to LA the last couple winters. And so I was like, great, I'll just come out again. And now I'm living in Newport because he's moved down here for his job. And so I've just been here for like 4 or 5 months. But then I'll go back to New York.
Nice.
Are you still modeling?
I'm still modeling. So I have agents in both places and I've just kind of been flying back and forth.
Oh, wow.
So it's very much a crazy schedule, but it's fun and worth it. And I feel like if anybody's going to have a atypical schedule,
that's it. You can do it. You can do it. If there's
I'm not kidding. Looking at
way.
both of you. Look at both. So Susan just recently announced about her boyfriend that she met. It's the love of her life. She met him on a vacation that we were on, actually in St. Martin.
Oh, fun.
And so, but I see both of you. Neither one of you can wipe the smiles off your face. So there's got to be something.
But mine we have a language barrier that's a little difficult. But I said, well, last forever because I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, it keeps things interesting.
Finding the right mental health care should 24 hours wide, enabling you to better mental health everyday bra. That's why Adore Me Mood. The low is $24.95.
On my watch list.
You didn't travel with us
because when the bus broke down and we did so well.
Thanks again to the all-new Nissan Armada for making this legend.
While supplies last. Actual plant size and selection vary.
How tall are you, Chloe? How tall?
I'm fine. When I think back on it, I was...
So I want to know what got you into modeling. I'm very curious about that.
And your photos are gorgeous.
Yeah, you're just gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're just beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's funny, when I think back on it, I was like 14, 15, and I'm from Kansas City, and I just feel like I'd always been tall, and people kind of said it in passing to my parents, like, oh, you should get her into modeling.
How tall are you, Chloe? How tall?
I'm 5'10".
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like tomboy, never wanted to, I would never admit that I wanted to do that, but I just kind of under the radar submitted some random photos that I had to just a local agency and kind of got the ball rolling from there. But I didn't tell any of my friends. I was like too embarrassed. So it wasn't until like I really graduated from college that I formally came out and was like, I've been doing this. I would leave and, take days off school and go and
So
work
it wasn't your ultimate career goal, or was it secretly?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was like, I'd always dreamt of it, but it piqued my interest. And then it kind of just started working. And I was like, I feel like I could do this. And, I feel like when I graduated, I was an art major and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I feel like modeling just was this foot in the door to this creative industry. And it all just kind of fell together. Yeah.
And what does he do?
He is the director of a summer camp.
Oh. In California?
In California, yeah.
Wow.
So he had been doing like tech sales and just was so burnt out. And in the last like year and a half-ish, he quit his job and he had worked at this camp in college and reached out and was like, do you guys have any full-time positions? And he's like, he's loving it.
So are we talking marriage? I know I'm not supposed to ask that, but here I am.
Yeah. We are talking marriage. He's the one. He's the one.
Oh my God.
I love
I'm so
this.
happy for you.
I'll come to Newport.
Bachelor Nation, another first here. Chloe is, it sounds like we're going to be
here
engaged.
on Golden Hour.
Golden Hour. Wow. I mean,
I know it's crazy to say, but.
So do you have any advice for girls, women, young women that want to get into the modeling industry?
Yeah, I think that really the best place to start is just taking some basic digitals, like tank top, jeans against a white wall, front, side, back, and just start sending those out to agencies. and I would just start collaborating with photographers. Instagram is like
It's
the
so different now.
Yeah.
LinkedIn
But that
of
she's got such a good point because most people put too much makeup in all these outfits. They want to see
Yeah.
natural bone
Yeah.
structure,
Yeah.
your body. Yeah.
and
Well-
I think Instagram has created, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? But it's created this working portfolio for creatives and models and stuff. So I think showcasing your personality and use Instagram as your portfolio. And
Yeah.
'cause I think a lot of clients really do look at that,
Yeah.
and agents and stuff, and they want to see that you're more than just a pretty face, that you have dynamic.
Yes.
So wait, I have a question. Susan and I are dinosaurs, but when we were coming up in the modeling world, it was very much eating disorders and
Yeah.
mental and physical issues surrounding modeling. Is that still necessarily the way? Is that still an issue?
I mean, I think that yes, I mean, it definitely is in certain corners. I think especially this new kind of phase that we've entered with, I feel like people are saying we're bringing back 90s skinny and the Ozempic stuff and all that. But personally, that's not been my experience. It's been nothing but positive, and I feel like people have celebrated my body rather than telling me to change it. So I feel very fortunate.
And that's such a difference. I mean, national brands, Gap, all these national brands now use full figure.
Yeah.
They call them, whatever you want to call it. It's normal life. And I like seeing that modeling now sort of mirrors what real life is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when I first started, it was very much like straight size and plus size. And that was, over 10 years ago. And now things have really opened up that it's like curve. And that's really just anything that's a size 6 and up.
Which
and
is
so,
crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. But
It's called curve?
Yeah.
That's
so
curve.
hardly ever am I necessarily referred to as plus size, but really what, like the boards and stuff that I'm on with my agencies and stuff, it's like the curve board, but that's inclusive of plus size and these kind of mid-size bodies. Yeah.
It's interesting to me that modeling used to be, you lived on lettuce and it didn't approximate the real-time women. So I'm glad to see that modeling has somewhat changed and you look on a magazine and you see yourself. You don't see something that you never.
Something you can relate to.
Yeah,
not
that
just
we can
Twiggy.
relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think too, though, that it really is just about taking care of yourself. Like there have been points in my life, like when I first graduated from college, I was not treating my body the best that I could have, and I think that was reflected in like the way that I looked and just my skin. But now it's like, I really haven't changed in size, but I feel better. I look better. I'm taking care of myself, eating right, working out. And so I don't think it's necessarily like a lack of, fitness or whatever. I think it's just people who are treating themselves right and taking care of themselves.
So do you
and
feel
that's
like
beautiful.
since you have an agency over in California, are you getting a lot of work there that you could shift or do you always go back to New York? You always feel like you have more work in New York?
It's interesting.
It's a night and day. I know.
It is. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of figure out the LA market. I think it definitely is different. I'm going back to New York a lot. Like New York is still my bread and butter.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that LA will be a little bit more consistent. I would like to do some more acting maybe. So that could be a venture that LA provides. But
yes.
Wow.
it's different. I think it just takes time to kind of.
Well, you are absolutely. I mean, you're stunning.
Beautiful.
And you're glowing.
Great
Truly,
personality.
you're glowing.
Wait, I have a question,
thank you.
Kathy. I have to ask. Do you like to cook?
I do like to cook. I think it's much more fun cooking for someone now that I have someone to cook for.
Yes.
So.
Oh,
You know
she's
what?
so
I'll
cute.
move there and you can cook for me because Alex and I were talking. I don't cook. I don't understand it. It's Greek to me. It's totally.
Well, I'm Italian, and so I have a bunch of big big family that loves to cook. So
Sounds
it's
like
my
Susan.
blood.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're so much
Susan's
alike
right.
there.
All right, well,
Absolutely. and we're both in love. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, I can just leave now and go out the door. You two can finish up here, okay? Have fun with each other. But before I leave, we're
Yes.
going to move into our advice portion of the episode. And Chloe, we're just going to kick things off with the question of the day, and then we'd like your thoughts on it. Are you game?
Okay. Yeah, I'm game.
All right. Do you feel like you found your own personal style when it comes to clothes? And what advice do you have to young girls that are trying to figure out how they want to dress and finding what they feel confident in?
Yeah, I think I have. I think I'm a very like classic dresser, but I like to flare it up with the little accessories that are more trendy and things. So I think it's like finding really solid pieces that are unique, like really classic things with an interesting shape.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's just about knowing your body and what suits you. Like if you have a short waist, what kind of silhouettes work on you, or if you're hourglass shape. So it's trying on a lot of things and knowing
What you feel good in.
yeah, because not
Yeah.
every trend is going to work. Like
No.
I have big boobs and a lot of
Mhm.
things don't work for me. And that's
Right.
just,
It's funny you say that. When years ago, as Susan knows and you're about to know, I hate to shop, clothes shopping. I hate it. But Alex and I have a few things in common here.
yeah.
And but I had a dresser. This was years ago. A stylist come in and go through my closet, and after she finished laughing, looking at what's in my closet, she said, "Kathy, you always dress to your best attribute, and my best attribute has always been I have very long legs." So she said,
Yeah.
when big full pants come in as they are now or were 10 minutes ago, she said, don't do that. Wear the slacks that emphasize your legs. Stick to the styles that look good
compliments
on
you.
you. What
Mhm.
compliment? And so
Totally.
I've never forgotten that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like if you find those silhouettes that work for you and then accessorize with the trendy things,
trendy
and
things.
you don't need to splurge on the trendy things.
Like give an
find-
example. What are the trendy things? Give me some examples.
I think like sunglasses or jewelry or, the way you wear belts, or I feel like scarves are coming back and having a moment, or maybe fun shoes are easier and a cheaper way to kind of come in,
Interesting.
come out. I feel like change an outfit.
Mhm.
Okay, well, if this gig doesn't work out for you, Chloe, would you come and dress me, please?
Honestly, I would love to. That's my favorite thing to do.
Oh God.
I know.
Oh.
I do it.
Tell your boyfriend to
cleaned
move
up
over.
Kathy's-
I'm moving in.
Kathy's closet, and what I saw was more conservative Kathy. And now that she's coming out, if you will, in the world, and she's dressing a little more, not just a classic look, but a little more modern, if you will. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Don't you
it's
think?
fun to play. I think it's
Mhm.
fun to try new things. I look back at things that I have been wearing. And also, I think living in New York allowed me to really
Anything.
play with
yes.
things.
Yeah.
Anything goes in New
Yeah.
York. And it's interesting. Even being in California right now, I'm definitely a little less adventurous, but I'm trying to fight that.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like,
Be you. Absolutely.
yeah, New York, you can wear a ball gown to the grocery store and nobody would bat
Nobody
an
would
eye.
even.
And you
think
could wear
twice.
pajamas to the Met, and nobody's going to bat an eye.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
people would call it chic.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but I think it's fun to be adventurous, even if I think it taught me well in New York, and I'm trying to bring that into my
Wow.
really
This
make
is
that
good.
part of who I am.
This is good.
You seem like you were made for this career.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you do.
appreciate that.
And where were you born and raised?
I'm from
Mission
Kansas City.
Hills. You are from Mission Hills, Kansas.
Oh wow! How did
Is
you?
that near
specific?
Chalk? Is that not near Chalk?
No,
Where-
he's Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita.
Because I do my homework. I research you. My
Yes.
sister's husband grew up in Mission Hills.
Oh really?
You don't want
Yeah.
to know him.
You don't want to know.
Never mind. Sorry, I brought it up.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my
nobody
God.
knows what Mission Hills is, but so I just say Kansas City. But
Yeah.
good. That was good
There you
homework.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Feeling sexy is supposed to be fun. Who doesn't self to launch and if you're on a budget?
eBay has that
Always, we're going to do it exactly the same way we've been doing it all year long. If you weren't on the team,
Driver said, stall the bus because when the bus broke down and we did so well. I kind of did just the opposite. I would say, this is an omen. Something would happen. I say, this is a good omen.
Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. With deals like these, your yard wins. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Hawaii.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, now we're going to go into our fan questions, and we want you to be a part of this. We give them advice, so we're going to ask you first for your opinion or your advice for these people that wrote in, okay?
Sure.
So this one says, Anonymous. Hi, ladies. I'm so frustrated and could really use your help. I love my best friend so much, but her insecurities are really starting to become too much for me. She's constantly saying negative things about her appearance, and it's honestly getting to the point where it's triggering me. To give you an idea of the kinds of things she would say, she never goes out to dinner with me and my friends because she doesn't want to eat before we go out so she doesn't bloat. I really don't want to abandon her, but I need to protect my brain. I work really hard to be negative towards myself, and her thoughts constantly creep into my head. How do I address this with her? She's always says these things in a jokey manner, so I really don't want her to brush me off, but you know what I'm saying. Thanks, ladies.
I'm confused.
Okay, I get it.
No, I get it. I get it.
So what do you think?
It's that negative stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've definitely been in a few friendships like this. And I mean, I think the key to life is you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Absolutely.
And that's just, but you can't force that on somebody. You can't teach that to somebody. You can just encourage them and kind of hope that they, run with it. I think that as hard as it is to be honest, I'd be honest. I just say, hey, don't, when you're so negative like this, it infects everybody.
Yeah, I don't
want
to be around
so
negativity.
I mean, if that's what this is about, absolutely,
yeah,
I get
she's,
it. Being
she's
around
putting
people
herself
who are negative.
down. She won't eat because her belly, mine does too, every time. And I try to drink all this water. By nighttime, I'm like this big. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with all that. But
so for the anonymous, what do you say she does? Have a conversation?
I think she says something. I think sometimes it feels blunt, but I think if you just handle it with care and maybe like lead with example and just say, hey, when I'm feeling this way, I do X, Y, and Z. And, I hate seeing you be so hard on yourself, but I got to say, it's a little hard to be around. It's like affecting me too. And I don't want this to affect our friendship, but you're beautiful inside and out.
Right. I don't want to do negativity because it's
not that deep. Having a bloated belly, it's not that deep.
Right. And also, if you keep putting this negative out to the universe, more negative's going to come your way.
Yeah. And
so you're going to keep compounding this.
Yeah, you are your thoughts,
To me, I'm making light of this because, I get down on myself sometimes,
We all do.
We all do. And I look to my friends to build me up and support me. But I also agree with you, Susan. Like, we've talked about this, I become such a more positive person since I went on the show. It just...
Knowing me, Kat.
That's it. That was it, Susan. Meeting you just did it. But I think that I like to be around positive people. I don't like to be
uplifting.
It's uplifting.
Yeah. I think being on the show too is very illuminating because it's like you see a different side of the world and this industry and stuff. And I think that it made me I feel so blessed because I think that just naturally, things kind of roll off my back that it doesn't necessarily for other people. And it gave me a lot more empathy. Yeah. But I think that you really just, especially being in the spotlight or something, you really just have to rise above it and be like, you know what? I don't care.
But don't you think, I want to know, we both want to know what 3 women, who are your closest friends from the show. And we know that one of them is Alex, but
Yeah.
You better
we know
say
that-
Alex.
yeah, you got to say Alex. But I'm also curious what it's like at your age to be in a confined area like the mansion and all the traveling with women, because I'm guessing that's not common. It certainly wasn't common at our age. So
Yeah.
you
Honestly, being at the mansion and stuff, that was like the least anxious. Like I was so relaxed. Like, they wake you up and they put you to bed and there's a grocery list right in front of you. I was like, this is great. I'm like, I'm going to sit by the pool. And then when I got to be somewhere, someone's going to tell me where to be.
Yeah,
Like, this is awesome. I loved it. I feel like it was like summer camp meets sorority house. Being adults.
Ours was summer camp meets 55 and over. So what are the women? Who are they? Who are they?
Yeah, definitely Alex and me really hit it off, and it's nice that we're both local, so we've gotten to hang out a bunch, and I've kept up a ton with Parisa and Natalie too. I think we all really resonated with one another.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what did you learn about yourself? Anything?
I think I learned kind of what I was saying earlier. Just I feel like my empathy grew because I was like, wow, they're just because you take 25 of the biggest personalities, but we're all different, and then you put us all in one room, and then it's a stressful environment where it's it's like competitive, but it's personal, and so I think my empathy just really grew during this experience.
You felt bad for people.
Not even that I felt bad, but I was just like
understanding.
Yeah, we're having similar, like if not the exact same experiences, but it's affecting you way different than it's affecting me. And I'm like, your feelings are just as valid, and let me sit with you and try and understand
exactly.
Why you're feeling.
Were you attracted to Grant, or did you know pretty early he wasn't your guy?
I think just from looks basis, of course. Yeah, he's a great looking guy.
Yeah,
but I think, early on in dating, whether there's this chemistry or not. And I think that it was, I think, when we
in the friend zone
broke
like
up
us.
or whatever, I think it was mutual.
Yeah. It was the same for us with Gary.
You get in the friend zone, like
friend zone real quickly. And it's all good. It's still good. It's still fun.
I have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah,
he seems like a great guy. I'm happy he's happy.
Were you surprised at his final choice between the two? Or did you have a feeling?
I mean, yeah, I think it was a toss-up just because of the initial sparks that we saw like flying and stuff, but I think that him and Juliana are so compatible with one another. Like I just think that they speak the same language and are just like they're the same energy, so it makes so much sense to me.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
I want to go eat pizza with them.
Totally. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we've gotten to know you a little better. Now we want to open it up to you. Like, do you have any questions for us?
I love this question.
Yeah. I mean, so my mom, when she found out that I was doing this, did her, like any good mom, did her deep dive in. And she was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel seeing women my age doing this, whatever. And then she fell in love with you guys. She loved it so much. But she's like, I just can't. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, what made you guys want to go on the show? I mean, I'm like, I had nothing to lose.
That's how I felt too. We were single, and I mean, it was an opportunity.
Yeah, it was, to me, it was, it'd be the same thing if I get to go on Paradise. It's an adventure. I am a hopeful romantic. I love
it.
I am. I hope that you can meet a guy anywhere, right? So why? But for me, it was an adventure to go on Golden Bachelor.
And we were looking for love, right? We didn't know who it was.
I didn't haven't found it on dating apps. I haven't found it organically. So why not on national TV? And I say the same thing. If I'm lucky enough to go to Paradise, it'd be the same thing. Hope springs eternal. So I think for Susan and me particularly, we were very much ourselves, and we didn't worry about what people were going to think because we just were there to be us.
Yeah.
Well, I think watching it too, you can tell it feels a lot more authentic and natural because you guys have lived so much more life and have these true stories and experiences, and you're just in a really honest point in your life where like you're open and ready.
Unapologetically, authentically.
I gotta say, I don't think I ever was not me. People say that, you hit 40 and you just become yourself. You don't care. I'm like, I think I was always this way.
I've been the same. Yeah.
And Susan, you
I love
too.
it.
You too.
We have a lot more wisdom now, but.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys were made for it too. I love that you've ended up here.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I would also say the older you get, or at least the older I've gotten, so much of what
Life.
you worry about, think about, it's minutia, Somebody wrote a book once a long time ago, Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. Like, that's kind of it. Like the rest of it just doesn't matter,
Yeah.
People their age going on the show, they're looking at a marriage and a future and babies, a family.
Yeah.
It's a whole different picture for us, We're looking at somebody to do the last chapter with, to enjoy.
Yeah.
Someone to travel with, someone to have fun with.
Yeah.
In my case, someone who wants to cook for me.
True.
You need an Italian, Kathy, or a Frenchman. My man can cook.
Susan's Italian and her French boyfriend cooks. It's just ridiculous. Anyway,
we loved having you, and I'm so glad you have found your person.
So
I'm so happy for you.
We want to come to the wedding.
No, I want to perform the wedding.
Oh, sorry. Of course.
Well, he's gonna put a ring on it first.
Okay, well, tell him to call us.
And then we'll talk.
We have a jeweler.
Yeah, I can make these things happen. I can do it. I'll make these things happen. I can do it.
We're really
be very
good
nice.
at this.
I'll only twist his arm a little bit. Like it won't hurt him too much.
I hope you keep glowing with that beautiful smile. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. That does it for this episode of Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thank you to our beautiful, lovely guest, Chloe. Thank you for joining us and sharing all your experience and your love. I love it. Thank you.
It has been great having you. You shine, you glow, you exude happiness. You just exude happiness. It's great to see.
Oh, thank you.
Twins.
And two twins over there. Thank you all out there for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hour because we have new episodes, and sounds like we got a whole bunch of new love stories coming your way. So you won't want to miss a one.
Don't you love it? Spring in the air, love in the air. Make sure to keep submitting your questions. We love answering them, and you know how to do it. You can go to bachelornation.com/golden hour or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour.
Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Till next time, have a great day.